How we going, guys? Liam here, back with another video. In today's video, I thought I'd do something a bit different, and I thought I'd talk about my experience and story with accountability. Now, it's the biggest step you can take in your life, and I feel like it's that one of those big steps that you've got to take in your life to be able to move past your fuck-ups and mistakes and accept it and move on and do what you can do in the present moment. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's pretty fucking obvious. Well, there's a lot of people out there that blame other people for their own problems. Now, the moment that you can accept that your own problems are your own problems, that's where you can actually move on in life. And that's where I actually took those steps. I actually blame myself for watching porn. I blame myself for being lazy and not doing exercise. I blame myself for not doing what I was supposed to do in my day. And the moment I did that, I fucking realized that it was me the whole fucking time, because I was blaming everyone else for my own problems pretty much. And the moment I accepted those are my fucking problems, that I'm letting them, I'm letting that get away with myself, I realized then I could move on. I could have a game plan. I could have a game plan to attack at getting better at those fucking shit habits, to make them better habits for the long run. Now, what I mean by that is, as soon as I realized and was accountable and took responsibility for my own actions, for watching too much porn, for fucking not exercising, for being lazy and not doing the things I said I was gonna do, I then came up with a plan. Now, what I first did was I essentially started exercising. I picked one thing to add to my routine. I feel like you've got to add one thing in order to start to get good at. And as soon as I started to do one thing, the rest is like a domino effect, but I'll move on to that later. So the moment I started exercising was in 2023, around in February, and that's when I started doing weight workouts around 5 to 6 to 7 days a week. I actually wasn't doing any rest days, which is stupid. Do not have no rest days. Rest days are important, but that's not the point of today's video. I was being accountable for my own physical and mental health, because when I started exercising, it sucked for the first whole month. Like, you're gonna feel sore, you're gonna feel fucking shit after every workout, because you're only just starting to do workouts. And the first day I didn't want to go back the next day, but when I pushed myself to go the next day, on the next day of February, I was pretty surprised at myself. That was the first big step I took for myself in a very long fucking time, because back when obviously we were kids, we'd just do things regardless of how we feel sometimes, because obviously, when we're kids, we don't really think about, these things much. But when I took that step, that was a really big step in my life, to get up there the next day. Then after that, I got up there the next day. Then the next day, I was up there at least 6 or 5 to 7 days a week working out. And as soon as I started that, I was starting to become consistent at something finally, after years of being fucking lazy. Now, when obviously, I had my ups and downs, I'm not gonna lie. There was days that I missed on purpose, and that really fucking made me angry inside, which is really good, because if you have that feeling of anger of not doing something, well, that's really good, because deep down in your brain and inside, that's fucking wrong not to do a workout. And as soon as I got that fire ignited in my mind, I would barely miss any workouts. I'd have 3 missed days a week, then I would have only 2, then I'd have only 1. And pretty much all the way up until the end of 2023, I was working out consistently. I was not missing a day that I actually planned in my mind. If I was gonna miss a day because of some activity, I would make sure I do that exercise that same fucking day I already did exercise in, so that way I would get all my workouts I was supposed to for the week. And that was the first real exercise that really helped me physically become more fitter as a person, and it made me more mentally stronger, and it also helped me build really strong discipline. Now, I feel like doing that really changed me as a person. Now, moving on to the next thing where I took accountability for was watching porn. Now, this one was not a fucking easy one. Obviously, it's the biggest killer for all men. If any of you are watching this video and you're addicted to porn, I'm comfortable saying that I was addicted to porn, and it sucks. I know, mentally it fucks you up. Mentally it makes you feel weak as a man, and mentally it makes you feel like you can't talk to any women really. And it's true, all those side effects are true, but the moment you stop watching it, I haven't watched it in over a year and a half now, your mind feels so much clearer, and I can speak from experience. Now, porn, it's hard to escape an addiction, trust me. I've went through so many ups and downs, weeks where I'd go, really good, and weeks where I did fucking terrible. And the best solution I did was just cut down, trying to watch. And obviously that's easier said than done. That was most people's advice, and I'm just gonna say the same thing. So when you cut down, when you limit your phone access, that's how you cut it down. When people say you got to cut it down, limit your phone access during the day. replace your phone access with, you know, reading a book or doing exercise. That's how, I guess, exercise played into helping me break free of my porn addiction, because, you know, some of my day was taken up by exercising. So you've really got to structure your days out so you're not on your phone and not thinking about it constantly in your brain, because at the moment you take away your phone and you're focusing on other things in your life ambitions, that's where you're really going to grow and break free of that porn addiction. Because that's how I did it. Because when I started limiting my phone consumption and not laying in my bed watching my phone, because I found when I was laying in my bed on my phone, that would be the easiest moment and the hardest moments to really not try and watch porn. Because when I'm in my bed and all comfy and on my phone and see a sexy woman on my phone, obviously I'm gonna, you know, fap and watch porn to it and watch many things. I even watched hours of fucking porn, like when I was on my bed and just looking at my phone. Like, I'm shameful to talk about it, but I'm gonna fucking admit I was a shit fucking man. And yeah, it's not good for your brain. Like, there's no words that can describe how bad porn is. That's why I'm struggling to talk about how bad it is, because it mentally fucked me up so bad. There was many points in my life where I was really fucking low because of it. It really drew me focus away from my life ambitions and goals. And when you're just so focused on, you know, porn and all this shit and not focused on your goals and ambitions, it really drives you down to the ground as a person. And I'm just going to draw away from that. And you probably just want to know what really made me cut it off completely. And I'm going to be completely honest about it. So I limited my phone access. That obviously helped. So I made my days busier as, you know, it went on. You know, you've got to slowly cut it down as well. Like, obviously there's going to be points in your time and in your life where you're going to, you know, watch it and you're going to be shameful of it, but you got to slowly cut it down. I was doing it pretty much 3 times a day, and that's pretty fucking bad. And then I was cutting it down to, you know, once a day, and that's a big improvement. Like, when you look at it in the gram spec of things, that's really improving. And then after that, you know, as months went on, it'd be only 4 times a week, then it'd be 3 times a week, and, you know, sometimes it'd be even more times a week, because, you know, it's never consistent, unfortunately, until you actually take action for yourself. And when I was just, you know, cutting it down as best as I can, even when I have the shit weeks, I'd make up for it on the next week by doing it only once, or not even doing it at all, and try to continue to do that every single time. And when I got to the end of 2023, obviously I met someone. I actually got a girlfriend, and won't disclose any names, but as soon as I got a girlfriend, that's when I actually completely cut loose from it completely, because I grew a tolerance and grew a habit not to watch it towards the end of 2023. But when I really got a girlfriend, in my mind, that became the biggest excuse and the biggest shutdown to never watch it again. And, you know, a lot of people are probably thinking, well, yeah, you had a reason not to. Well, because when you have a reason not to watch it, when you have something like that drives you not to watch it, that's really going to be the thing that cuts you loose from that addiction. That's what really cut me loose for the addiction, because I did not watch porn for the whole of 2024, and I've not watched it at all this year at all as well. And I'm pretty fucking proud of myself to be broken free of that addiction. I'm proud to say it. I'm proud to talk to you about it. And I want you to also break free of that addiction too, because it's a bad addiction. It's going to drive you towards the ground. It's going to make you hit rock bottom. But I feel like it's good if it makes you hit rock bottom in a way, because it's really going to drive you back up to break free of that addiction. And that's what happened with me personally. Now, obviously, yes, it's hard. It's going to be it's never going to be easy, but all I can say is, as long as you stay consistent with it and be accountable for your own actions, that's where accountability comes in. That's the moment it's going to become like a domino effect. Because once I started doing all these things, the rest just become like a domino effect, and that's how I really improved myself as a person. Because ever since I've stopped watching porn, my mental health has grown better. Ever since I started doing exercise, my mental health and physical health has never been fucking better. Now, I really want you to go out of this video today and come back to it if you want to watch this video. And, you know, if you're ever struggling, just come back to this video and rewatch this video again and remember my story, how I struggled. I struggled for a whole entire year, and, you know, when I stopped watching porn, it didn't stop me from jerking off, and, like, you know, that's even harder in itself. And obviously when you got a girlfriend, you obviously think of them when you do it, but you know, throughout the whole of 2024, I cut that whole masturbating addiction as well. I'm going to comfortably say that as well. Like, I broke free of porn, but not of masturbating. As soon as I stopped masturbating completely in 2024, I haven't done it unless, obviously, you know, I'm not going to say much more. But, yeah, you know, you can do anything in your life. You can do anything as long as you're accountable for your own actions. That's the whole point of today's video, really, to explain that the moment you're accountable for your own actions, the moment that you realize you can control yourself and your own actions and what you do as a person, that you can really go out there and achieve your goals and your dreams and become a better person and do the things that you want to do. And for me, that was getting more fitter and doing exercise every single day. And that was cutting loose with my masturbating and porn addiction. And as soon as I did that, I've never felt so much happier and so much more peace in my mind, in my life. Now, I urge you to, you know, follow this journey along. You know, I've got more content coming about, you know, self-improvement and, you know, other videos about these kind of topics, and I will tell many stories about, you know, myself and how I overcame, you know, these small obstacles along my journey. But I thought I'd just give the whole gram spec of my story in today's video. You're probably sick of me yapping for today and probably sick of me kind of, you know, just doing this and not saying a word, because I'm so passionate to talk about this topic, and it's just really inspiring to me to talk to others and help others through their own addiction, because, you know, it sucks. It just really, you know, it makes you, yeah, I'm not going to say much more. It really made me really shit. It made me feel really fucking shit inside, and it just made me feel like I wasn't even a human being. And I'm sure most of you can relate to that as well. Comment down below, you know, if you feel the same way, and just keep following my content along. And yeah, it's pretty emotional talking about it, but yeah, stay strong. Never give up, take accountability for yourself, and keep at it, guys.